Hi everyone, I'm Thais Ferris and welcome to Jumpstart Refugee Talent YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us on today's session, Editing Your Ideal Canadian Resume, a step-by-step guide. This video will discuss the key elements that make a Canadian resume stand out. We'll discuss what Canadian employers are looking for and how to effectively highlight your skills and experiences while keeping your personal details to a minimum. We will walk you through each section of the resume, from the professional summary and skills to job description and education. By the end, you'll have the tools you need to edit your resume that truly resonates with Canadian employers. This is a quick overview as to what your resume should ideally look like. If you have an IT resume, your resume will look slightly different but very similar. You will have the technical skills section, and you would also have a tech stack where you showcase the different softwares that you are proficient in. This is what your IT resume should ideally look like. Now let's go back to the first resume. In terms of length, your resume should always ideally be 1 to 2 pages, unless you have extensive experience. Your fonts should always be simple, like Calibri, Times New Roman, Arial, or Sans. You should have no extra addresses, marital status, number of kids, or photos on your resume. Your experiences in your resume always go in reverse chronological order. Your most recent experience goes first, whereas your oldest experience goes last. Your resume should only include relevant sections that apply or that are relevant to the job that you are applying for. Different jobs require different adjustments, so you won't always use the same resume for all job positions. We will discuss how to edit each section in the following videos. Let us now start with the resume header. Your resume header is the first thing that an employer sees, so make it short and concise. You should have your first and last name, as well as your contact information, such as your shortened address, your city and province, your cell number, and your email. You can also include links to websites showcasing your skills, such as LinkedIn, GitHub, ResearchGate, or even a website that contains your portfolio. Avoid any personal information, such as extra addresses, marital status, number of kids, or even photos. The professional summary. Your professional summary should be concise, 1 to 3 lines, and tailored to the job. You should highlight skills based on the job description provided by the company that you are applying to. In terms of keywords, you should always use keywords from the job posting. Keywords are specific words or phrases that match the skills and qualifications that the employer is searching for. For example, instead of saying, "I have 13 years of work experience in customer service," you can then say, "Customer service professional with over 13 years of experience enhancing customer retention and driving sales growth, seeking a position in Canada." This shows your skill, your experience, and the position that you are seeking. The third section of your resume is your highlight section, and it's where you basically show off your skills using supporting evidence or quantifiable achievements. If you cannot quantify your achievements, you can also add software or other technical skills that you may be proficient in. A good example of a highlight section would be this one right here. The skill is customer service, and it states delivered exceptional customer service to over 200 clients weekly, resulting in 95% customer satisfaction rates. It gives the service, it gives the skill, it gives to how many people benefited from that skill, and it gives the result of what your skill led to, which was a 95% customer satisfaction rate. For those that may have IT resumes, you would look to this section here, which is technical skills. You can add your security tools, your frameworks and tools, and any other technical skills that you may have. So you do not necessarily need the highlight section if you have an IT resume, as you would have the technical skills section. Let us now discuss your professional experience. You should always have the company's name, the city and country that you worked in, or for Canadian jobs, the city and the province, your job position, the month and year that you started, and the month and year that you ended. And then you will have bullet points outlining your job descriptions. This is an example of what that should look like. You should always start with a general overview as to what you would have done in the job, and you must also try to quantify each role and provide results. For example, instead of saying, you handled customer complaints on calls every day, you can therefore say, handled customer complaints via phone, email, and chat, achieving a 95% resolution rate on first contact. Instead of saying, you trained new employees and reduced time, you can say, you assisted in training new employees, reducing onboarding time by 30% through effective mentoring and support. These are some additional examples. At XMP Electronics, you would have analyzed customer feedback, implementing changes that increased customer satisfaction scores by 15%. As a customer care associate, you would have resolved customer issues efficiently, reducing average customer wait times by 20%. If you had multiple positions at the same job, this is how you should have it written on your resume. You do not need to repeat the job title twice.
For an IT resume, your professional experiences may look slightly different. However, you are not required to add a tech stack. For example, if you were proficient in JavaScript, React, Python, etc., as a sales support specialist at Innovative Tech Solutions, you are now required to add that information in your tech stack. Your job roles will look similar to the other resumes. Developed and launched 10 plus web and mobile applications, resulting in a 20% increase in user engagement and a 15% rise in customer retention. This shows exactly what you did, but it also highlights your quantitative achievements in that job.
In your education section, you must include the name of your school, the city and country, or for Canadian schools, the city and province, and the completion month and year. You will then move on to the type of education, such as a diploma, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate degree, or you can add your high school diploma if you have no further education. This is an example of what that should look like. Once again, it is in reverse chronological order, whereas your latest experience comes first and your older experience comes last. If you have completed your WES evaluation, you can add it in as well. For example, if your Bachelor of Business Administration was evaluated by the WES, World Education Services, you can add it in as equivalent to a 4-year Canadian bachelor degree. If you are a recent graduate or simply do not have enough work experience, you can also include relevant coursework, projects, or even your graduation thesis under your degree. This is an example of what that may look like. For example, for your Masters of Business Administration, you can add your thesis. You can also add that you are a recipient of various scholarships. And if your coursework is relevant, you can also add your various coursework if you think it is relevant to the job that you are applying for. Here we have an example of a graduation project that may be relevant to the field that you are applying to. We will now discuss your volunteer experience. There are 2 ways in which you can write your volunteer experience. The first is a condensed format where you simply add your position, the organization's name, location, the month and year that you started, and the month and year that you ended. This is an example of such. Or you can write it in a longer version similar to your work experience. The second template can be used if the client does not have much work experience in Canada, but has relevant volunteer experience in Canada. It can also be used if your volunteer experience relates directly to the industry that you are applying to. Similar to your work experience, you should always still try to quantify your roles if you are using this template, as it shows what you did and the results it brought. For example, you supported Habitat for Humanity events and fundraisers, roughly 5 per month, contributing to the organization's mission of achieving 50,000 Canadian in donations in 2022. This shows what you did and the results that it brought. For your certificates and training section, you must always follow this format where you add the certificate's name, the organization's name, the location, and the month and year that you would have received the certificate or the training. For example, if you possess a certificate in customer service excellence, that would be the certificate's name. The organization that you would have done this with would have been the Canadian Customer Service Institute in Toronto, Ontario, and you would have completed the certificate on April 2023. If you have special projects, publications, affiliations, or achievements, you can also list them similarly using these formats. If you are part of any professional institutions or organizations, you would list them under affiliations. If you have published any papers, articles, or research, they would go under publications. If you have any special projects, you can always add them similar to your certificate section. The last section of your resume is your languages section, and you simply add the language you speak and its proficiency. If you speak fluent English or even proficient English, English always goes first. Whatever is your native language, you can add that second and you add native. For any other languages that you may speak, you can add it to the end, and you can use intermediate or you can use beginner.
Thank you for watching. We hope this guide has been helpful in showing you how to create a standout Canadian resume. Remember, focusing on your skills and experiences that Canadian employers value is critical. Keep refining your resume, and if you're a refugee claimant, or forcibly displaced person seeking meaningful economic inclusion, we are here to support you. You can register with us for further assistance, and you can find the link in the description box. Good luck with your job search, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!